artistic.
Oh, rebirth, revival. Strong, sexy. It's a Japanese wrestling game. Alright. So have you ever played those, I don't know, but they just couldn't, it's just a thing, you can't make intros to wrestling games, or Japanese people can't, and it's like those Aki WCW games where the best one is WCW NWO Revenge, where it just opens with a guy driving a truck and then stings in front of the truck, and the truck driver goes, "What?" And then like it all just changes. They forget about the truck, and it all just turns into people fighting each other.
Brilliant.
But we're not playing that. We're playing Fire Pro Wrestling Returns.
This is a game I have never played.
Okay.
So I've only ever played the Ukes games, basically wrestling, and I've played a couple of UFC games. So this is how a match should look. This is not me in control. This is demo mode.
Right.
It looks surprisingly pretty, right? Is that just me?
It looks really, really good. Yeah, this is
very sharp.
It's a originally 2005 PS2 release. Came out. It's the only Fire Pro Wrestling console game that actually got localized and translated into English, and the English version came out in 2007. You can now get it on the US PSN store as a PS2 classic for $10, and I'd highly recommend that you do that.
Which is why we're playing it, basically.
Yep.
Or I'm playing it, and you're going to tell me why I'm so shit at it.
Right.
Already loving the music.
Yeah, it's great. This just got lodged in my head all day, and like, you know, rather than people doing the Fandango theme tune, they should just be going. So like the big attraction with Fire Pro Wrestling is there's a shit ton of guys in it. If you jump into edit for a bit. Options.
Alright.
And
Supernova, Blizzard, Zip, Japan.
So all of these guys are loosely, well, I say loosely, they're quite closely based on real people, just with the names changed. So because of that, you can see that there's 327 guys on their default roster. And you can create another 170 or so to have a 500 strong roster.
Nice.
So all those from the top is New Japan, All Japan, Noah, Zero One, Dragon Gate, DDT. You've got Big Japan there. You've also got some American guys. The older games like Fire Pro D and Fire Pro G, because they came out in the middle of the Attitude Era, they were the best in terms of having a Western roster. They pretty much had everyone who was everyone in WCW and WWF. This has, I can't remember, what did they call the, they might be an AWG, I think, the Western guys, and those, I think in this game that they're more kind of sort of legend figures, so like Bret Hart's in there, and The Undertaker's there, but that's pretty much it. It's a pretty slim like Western roster, but it's interesting. You know, I played a lot of this past week, and it's just interesting to go back and see who was big in Japanese wrestling in like 2005. So yeah, it's guys like Tanahashi, who was like a young boy then, and now is like the equivalent, New Japan's equivalent to John Cena now. So it's interesting that he's in there as like the young heart of a champion, or whatever. Like each guy's got an amusing
ruthless aggression.
Right.
Where is he? I can't find him.
What did they call him in this game? I can't.
His name's
remember, because I've re-edited a bunch of people and changed their names back.
So this is the actual original version. Now there are communities of people online who have made basically every federation that's ever existed, like wrestlers, and you can download their pre-made guys and put them in your game.
If you think, like, if you're a fan of like the current WWE games and their creation and sharing suite, this did all that like 2 decades ago, but it didn't have any online capabilities. So like the first game that really did this was like Fire Pro X on the Super Famicom, and that had all those edit stuff, and they slowly built in the ability to sort of edit organizations and create rings and create logos. You can even create your own referee in this game. And yeah, so they did all that. It's just that there wasn't an online system then to put everything up. So people have sort of like hacked their, people have. There is a community at fireproclub.com that will walk you through the process needed to hardware hack your PlayStation 2 so you can download a ROM file with everything on here. It's crazy the lengths people will go to. But it's why probably FirePro D on the Dreamcast is the most popular installment of this, because like that was fairly easy to get alternate saves on here. So that's the most popular one. Also, as I say, it's got like most of the WWF sort of Attitude Era people. Yeah, you can create a belt if you really want.
Which I do.
Which you do, of course. Wrestling champion. Make it pink.
No. What's this the contrast of? Oh, that main colour bit. Okay. That's that then. If you went into the sort of nuts and bolts of creating a guide, like it's not just. I mean, the detail to which you're creating it is amazing, because it's not just appearance and moves, but then it's also AI logic. So actually, how. If you're not playing as that person, how the AI will handle them, whether they do more strikes or whether they go for more submission work or something like that. You can actually tune the so that's the sort of thing that hasn't really come along in sports games until the last few iterations of things like FIFA and things like that.
Right, and this has been doing that since like 95, So it's weird. It's I think FirePro R was the only console one. The Game Boy Advance ones were localized. This is the only one that's really been localized into English from the console ones. It's also like the last installment of the series. Probably because it's the easiest to localize. There's no real career mode in this, where like other like previous games did. Like FirePro Z had like a really interesting one where you were sort of going through different matches in history, and FirePro G had one where you were a sort of young boy trying to make his way. The most interesting one was Super FirePro Special on the Super Famicom, because Goichi Suda51, it was his first game, and he wrote that game, and that story mode was basically about again, like being a young boy training and then becoming a big star, and at the end of that game the fame and the pressure overwhelms him and he commits suicide at the end, which is a weird ending to a wrestling game.
Next. Right, I'm just gonna pick some dudes.
Yep.
He has returned from retirement. He sounds like the sort of guy I want to be. And we're gonna fight obviously different looking man. So, first, I guess I should figure out the.
Did you turn the difficulty way down?
I didn't notice. Right. So I'm gonna get twatted.
Yeah, you're gonna get twatted. So you've got when you're on offense, like at any point in the game, you've got three basic things you can do. You've got your weak, which is on square, medium on X, and circle is your strong attack. You've also got like a special on square and X together.
Okay.
So at any time, that's what you're going for. You can you use triangle to run, and the other important button is like the L1 button, because that's your breathe. You won't need it at the start, but as you take more damage, you have a stamina system, but there's no light HUD display, so you kind of have to figure out by looking at your stance and hold down L1 to breathe. So everything you're doing is timing based. So what you want to do is look as they tie up, and just as they touch, you want to press the button and a direction to perform the move. What's lovable about FirePro Wrestling is that it's like a proper wrestling match is. You cannot really go in and just hit your strong move straight out the gate, because you're going to get it blocked and going to get it countered. You have to start with your weak attacks. and work up and up and up. But that's it, like everything's done on a sort of dice roll, and there's like, what's impressive about it is that there's a lot that goes on under the hood without it directly telling you. So it's things like if you are getting beaten down and you're really getting dominated, actually your chances of being able to hit a strong grapple go up. So you're able to sort of pull something out and sort of, you know, you have this sort of double down thing where both guys are KO'd on the floor. The other cool thing about this is that some of the rings, because I think you're in the Tokyo Dome here, at the top you'll notice there's a ramp, which is the ramp you came down in on the entrance, and you can throw people out onto the ramp and then like fight on there. It's the spot I like to do when you're sort of outside and you whip him into the ropes on the ramp, and then he comes back and you do something.
I keep, rather than hitting things when I'm moving, I keep just running into him.
Yeah, that's this is you've come from youth wrestling games where running and hitting is always the way to victory. It's really not the way you should be playing in Fire Pro. The only way you can really get a running strike to connect, like guaranteed, is if you shoot him off in the opposite direction. And then you run back, because that way he's sort of dazed. But it's also, again, it's all about timing, and like you have to kind of know the guy you're playing as, and be able to know exactly when to hit the button so that he starts his jump at the right time or what have you.
Yeah.
And a cone of ice. You got out of it.
Early on, I was sort of winning the grapples. I was just mashing random buttons as they locked up, and then I was getting moves off, but now I've lost it.
Yeah, it does that. I mean, like, even on PS3, you're doing sort of dodgy stuff here and using an emulator just for the sake of sort of capturing this stuff. But, like, that sort of stuff, it's all just, like, little animations that are brilliant about that when it's running into the corner and, like, you know, bumps it. But, yeah, even I mean on PS3 as a PS2 classic, like I don't know if you've downloaded any of those like PS2 games on your PS3, but it's like I played a bit of Psychonauts at the behest of someone on our forums, and it looks absolutely wank. But partly because like it didn't look that great to begin with, but it looks really bad, you know, now on your PS3. But this looks, I mean, just because it's kind of, it's 2D art, sprite art and stuff, but like really nice 2D sprite art stuff looks brilliant.
You can kind of see the joints between the body parts they've got in there as well.
Yeah.
So when you're building somebody, you can sort of see how they've built the system so that basically any wrestler can perform any move and it will not look terrible, kind of thing. Because they've got almost each piece moving around separately like an action figure kind of thing.
Yeah. It's 10-cent traffic. It's like you were in the ropes. No. Always go back to sort of square if you're like really lost, because that's the thing you're guaranteed to get off sort of thing. Kick out at 0.
If you haven't figured out, Chris is like a couple of seconds behind because he's watching on a stream. We're not in the same room.
Right.
That'll be why. Oh shit! No! Oh, that was.
I think if you really want to see some comedy, you should pick some of the. We should have a junior heavyweight match after this, and oh dear, and we'll see you try and attempt springboards and things like that.
So you got the 1P and the CP with the Batsu and Maru, the good and the bad. That's what Square and not Square, X and Circle are on the controllers, aren't they? Which is why pressing circle to do things.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
On Japanese games.
It's also why, like, they say, you know, you shouldn't. When I started teaching here, there, you know, noughts and crosses would be a sort of normal conversational game to play with the students, and then they go, well, you shouldn't really do that because culturally, it's like.
Yeah, it doesn't mean like they're like.
This
is good and that's bad.
I scored a point because I did something bad. If you back out, well, yeah, there's all sorts of barbed wire death matches, landmine death matches, so like the special match types rather than Hell in a Cell or anything like that, that kind of thing. Go into Matchmaker here. So that like
Okay.
the matchmaker thing, I think you've just gone title match, right? Yeah, the title match isn't a campaign; it's just a one-off thing. This is the closest to a sort of campaign jobby that you have here. Is like the matchmaker, where you create either one card or a season of cards, and you get rated depending on how good each of your matches are. So it depends on what organization you'll pick, like what kind of matches the audience like.
Right. Okay.
So if you're picking a kind of lucha themed promotion, then you'll need to do lots of high flying. If you're picking like Big Japan, you have to have lots of death matches and lots of blood and guts and things.
More dramatic entertainment dream battle. Comedy number 1. Thanks very much.
Yeah, that's you can tell just the logo is exactly the same as DDT, except with the B. Kansai is Osaka Pro, so they're sort of like a comedy promotion, and yeah, you can choose like the size of your arena and things, and how many people will come. Some
Medium
arenas
city.
you can do certain types of matches in, some arenas you can't.
So I've gone comedy. Produces comedy-driven characters. Its focus is on the entertainment value. Alright, match 1. Matchmake. Cage match. Okay, normal match.
Barbed, Landmine, Deathmatch.
Blue corner, CP. Red corner, CP. 3
So
count.
the other match types you just saw there, the SWA and the S1 stuff, there's actually, when this came out in 2005, it was very fashionable for, especially New Japan, because Inoki was a big fan of MMA. So there was lots of sort of pseudo, like, they were wrestling, I mean, they were predetermined, but they were basically like MMA fights, and nobody liked them, which is why sort of New Japan went down in the mid-2000s. But they've sort of adapted that for this game. So there's actually a fairly sort of intricate and difficult sort of MMA grappling engine in this as well. If you choose an MMA guy, they handle completely differently, and there's sort of lots of
Cool.
clutches and getting into guards and things like that. You're just going to choose Barbed Wire Deathmatch, Landmine Deathmatch.
Normal match. I want to know settings. How do I set this to be a tag match?
Oh god. Wait.
No.
Settings 1. I can't remember. I haven't played this for ages and ages.
I'm not sure if I can.
Red corner. You can. I know you can.
Wrestler CP confirm. All right.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's. I think it's in that. So if you go blue corner. Now I'm like 5 seconds.
Oh, press down. Okay.
And you press down, then you can.
Okay, CP, red corner. CP.
There you go. So that would be like an 8-man, and you can have like up to 8 people on the screen at one time, which is pretty cool considering like the WWE games are sort of 3 on that. What is it? You can have like 3 on a team or whatever.
That guy's a referee. Okay, so I'm going C and D level dudes. Because they're still... oh no, they're all C and D level, because they're all shit. Okay, I see.
Yep.
Is that because the Federation's not very good?
It's just, yeah, I mean, Osaka Pro is like kind of a small indie.
Make a match. Cage death match.
You should put an exploding ring deathmatch just for giggles.
2-on-1. How do I change wrestler or CP? What's wrestler?
Oh,
One player. Okay, right, yeah.
yeah.
So I want to be... Hey. Me and another dude against... a handsome-looking referee. Let's change the music to Tornado. This is going to be me, so I want the best guy I can find. E-E-D-D C-C. I'm going to be that guy. Against these two. Oh, it's 2-on-1, isn't it? Okay, one guy is just not wrestling.
Right, okay. Fantastic.
No outsiders are booked for this event. It strengthens the organisation.
Yeah, but three matches on this card. So, it's a quick one.
You can drag them out. 30 minutes each, you got a full show there. Many wrestlers gathered. They have hearts full of emotions.
It's like the people who are actually wrestling in the match are gathering to watch the match.
I didn't realise I'd made a 4-on-4 match.
This was not sensible. It's like you used all of your guys. So it's like, we've only got about 10 guys on our roster, so let's put 8 of them into like...
I don't think I made a 4-on-4 match.
Well, evidently you did.
I thought I made a 2-on-2 match. Oh well. I thought the first match was just 2 guys.
Did you put yourself into this? Or is it just CPU versus CPU?
Maybe match... Is this in reverse order or something? No, the last match should be 2-on-1. I thought it was 1-on-1, 2-on-2, then 2-on-1 at the end. I thought that's all I'd made.
Oh, wow. Also, if you didn't choose one player, so we're just going to watch this.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Quick match.
Exciting stuff. Similarly, on those, we were talking about those sort of internet communities. If you look through those forums, it's lots of people like who just make, and I'm sure you can get all of this shit on YouTube. People who just like make matches in the game with computer versus computer, and then just watch it and record it and stuff. It's like, why don't you watch wrestling? It's probably better.
You know what?
Matchmaker is an event promoter. I love that. It's like it's like a weird sort of Fisher-Price style universe where like the guy's name is his job.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Mr. Matchmaker. I make all the matches.
Hey, match! We need a match later tonight.
What have you done?
I've rebooted it because I was getting stuck in the menus of making events and stuff, and that's not what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Game modes, exhibition, landmine, deathmatch. Blue corner, 3 dudes including me. Red corner, 3 dudes. Alright, let's do this.
So, yeah, I mean, as I said, this is the last in the series. It technically wasn't because Spike Chunsoft and Microsoft teamed up to release the fucking appalling Fire Pro Wrestling on the Xbox 360. But we're not going to count that. That's Yuji Nagata, who's kind of a legend. You just put him in a silly mask.
That's me.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're looking at this and you've got a 360 and you go, oh, I want some Fire Pro Wrestling, do not get Fire Pro Wrestling on the 360.
The Kinect one.
It's got the same name. It's not the same game. So, yeah.
Oh, by the way, if you can hear all that popping in the background, it's because this weekend there's a festival in Toyohashi, so there's lots of firecrackers going off at 10:38 a.m.
There you go.
It's to advertise the fact that the festival's happening. Anyway, moving on. Can I help?
You need to use lots of sort of getting into grapples, and when you're near the ropes or near the corners, like pressing triangle to whip them to the outside so they'll crash into the barbed wire.
I missed him.
I think the Landmine deathmatch as well, or it's a separate... Oh, you see 10 cents busted open there.
Already?
Or it's one of the separate settings. You can set a time for when the ring explodes. So it's sort of like marking the big sort of King of the Deathmatch stuff that was very, very popular in the mid-90s. Still, like, Big Japan still do that kind of thing now from time to time. It's just like explosives on the outside of the ring, and if you don't finish your guy within 15 minutes, the ring blows up. And then, like, whoever... It's really exciting in this game, actually, because it's like the explosion goes off, and then, like, both of you are down, and it's like, who can... Sometimes, like, neither of you get up. Sometimes, like, one of you gets up and, like, goes in for a pinfall, the other guy kicks out, and it's amazing. But yeah, we haven't seen it yet. But like the other sort of Fire Pro kind of meme is the critical, where there are times where you'll hit a move. There's a sort of extremely sort of low ratio dice roll attached to it, where you'll hit one of your special moves and it just paralyzes the guy, and like he's crumpled on the floor, and the game goes critical, and the match is over. The referee just stops it.
So I just threw a guy. I just reverse whipped a guy into the things, and now he's bleeding from the face. Uh-oh.
Yeah, so it's just like the sight of like this 2D sprite figure completely dead, which is amazing.
Now I can help my friends, right? Uh-oh.
Also, the other good thing about Fire Pro Wrestling that I like is, just blew up.
He done blewed up.
He done blewed up. The other good thing I always like in Fire Pro Wrestling is that when you win a match, like the bell rings, but you're still able to control your guy afterwards. Like the match doesn't finish until you press start to quit out. So like, but when you've won, like the other guy just kind of, the AI doesn't do anything. It just sort of stays there, so you can do what you want up and like experiment and stuff like that. Because it's like when you're playing as the junior heavyweight guys, they do all kinds of like really cool moves, like planches you can do. You can get out onto the apron and do a springboard off the ropes and stuff, but they're really, really difficult to hit normally. So it's really satisfying to win a match and then finally be able to get in that fucking springboard dropkick you wanted to hit for ages. It's kind of like a fighting game in that respect. You can get locked into, I just want to do this move. It looks awesome. I think you're the only guy not bleeding.
Yeah. Doing pretty well for myself. Oh no, one of my teammates isn't bleeding. Stamp on his face! Yeah, we're double teaming somebody. Kapow!
This is you're sort of picking your spots at the moment, I see.
Ah. Yeah! Give up! Give up! See, because we're 2-on-1 over here, and they've got a 2-on-1 over there, so it's kind of whether it's dangerous or not. Whip him! Whip him! Uh-oh. Ow!
I don't know whether this is set up for elimination or just one pinfall.
Ow! Still not bleeding. Going strong.
Ooh.
Okay, none of my moves are happening now. It's just not happening. It's just not coming off.
It's not getting together. I mean, the other little thing is like positioning for the strikes, and I suppose it's very Japanese in that respect when you're going for strikes and things. Much like, I don't know if you're familiar with like Dark Souls or Monster Hunter now, you have to know what the animation looks like. So if you stand right up next to a guy and hit your big super like ensuguri kick, you'll probably miss him. You need to like step just like half a step back a bit so that you really connect with the back of his head. But it does mean everything looks a lot more awesome. It's, if you play like a Yuke's wrestling game, they try and kludge it so that it lets you hit a move. Even though you shouldn't. So the animation looks really weird. But in here, everything just connects and everything just looks right.
I'm not getting basically any of my grapple moves on now. Oh no! This is fancy. Thank you.
Those are probably like really knackered. If you get a bit of space, like you should hold L1 for a few seconds so you breathe.
I did a bit of breathing, so try and do a bit more. Now I'm wobbling around. Oh no, is that one of our guys? Shit. See, I'm breathing. I'm just chilling out, waiting for my comeback.
Also, I just really like the sound design in Fire Pro games. Like the audience, even though there's no sort of chanting or things like that, the fact that you can always listen to the crowd noise and know how, if you're playing like the matchmaker where the quality of your match is important, you know how far the crowd are into it just by listening.
Right, yeah.
And when it gets to the end, when you're going for near falls, they're counting along like 1-2, and if they kick out at 2.9, you hear like the typical Japanese thing of everybody like stamping their feet. Which is what happens if you're in a Japanese crowd. You go, whoa! You stamp, stamp, stamp.
Breathe. Breathe, man in a mask. Everyone's just dead. This is just corpses slapping each other in the face.
But that's... Yeah, I mean, the problem with like these multi-man matches in any wrestling game is because, you know, wrestling should be fake, but because it's a video game, all the AI are trying to win, which means that everybody's always going to break up a hold or something like that. So, yeah, really your best bet in this sort of thing is to try and get a quick submission or hope that someone just gets KO'd, which may well happen.
Result, Cobra Twist. Losers, what is that? Did someone get a submission then or something then? I didn't see a count.
Yeah, I didn't see
I lost? What?
Well, Cobra Twist is like an abdominal stretch, so you're probably in a hold and tap.
Well, that's fucking fire, bro. Yeah, do you want to do anything else, or are we going to call that a video?
Let's call that a video, I suppose.
Alright. Fire Pro Wrestling returns. You can get it on PlayStation 3, on PSN. Do those games work on Vita yet, do you know?
The PS2 ones? I don't know.
I think
PS1 it's a good
do,
question.
right?
The PS1 ones do.
Yeah, maybe they haven't implemented that. They'd probably be doing a song and dance about that working, wouldn't they? Maybe it sort of requires a conversion rather than just a straight emulator. That's why they can't do it, because the Vita's not... Because to emulate something, you have to be like several orders of magnitude more powerful than it. Which is why it takes like even a fairly chunky, sizable PC to run a PS2 game at a decent frame rate and everything.
Right. Well, if you have got a Vita and you've got a Japanese PSN account, you can get Fire Pro G, which was the PS1 release. You can get that on as a PS1 classic, and that'll run on your Vita.
Oh, right.
And that has like a proper story-based campaign mode, sort of in Japanese, but you know, it's a really good, fun little campaign. You've got like lots of choices. You're like a young guy, and you have to choose whether to wrestle in Japan or whether to wrestle in America.
Ah, cool.
And if and because you're Japanese and you're wrestling in America, you go over to America and you make friends with Taka Michinoku, because like he was just hired by the WWF at the time. He helps you and stuff. It's great.
That's cool. So yeah, it's very spritey and the animation's good and it's very, very customizable. Maybe we'll do another video when I've downloaded the people I actually know. Maybe I can do another video. I'll try and figure out how to do that with an emulator and stuff. Alright, cool. This has been a WrongPlay thing. Love you, bye.
Bye.